Princess Solara of the Illyrian kingdom grew up in crystal towers that floated above blue clouds. Every child of Illyria learned the same history, that their race was born from light and that humans were myths. Teachers said humans once fought with iron and fire, destroying whole worlds until they vanished in their own wars. No human ship had been seen for thousands of years. Most thought they never existed. Solara believed that too. She liked logic more than legends. Her world was calm, ruled by councils and powered by glowing crystal technology. The towers drifted through gentle winds and every sunrise painted the clouds gold. She often watched from her balcony, imagining adventures far beyond her sky. Still, she never dreamed she would one day meet a creature from a forgotten story. The day began like any other. Her royal convoy was crossing the outer plains to visit a research outpost near the ruins of an old city. The plains stretched endlessly, silver grass under two suns, warm wind whispering through the crystals that jutted from the ground. Soldiers rode air gliders beside her escort ship. She sat near a window reading reports. Her pilot said the scanners were clear. Everything looked peaceful. Then the sky tore apart. Black shapes burst out of the clouds, raider craft with jagged wings and crimson trails. The Void Clans, their engines howled like monsters. Energy bolts struck the lead gliders, sending bright explosions across the sky. Alarm screamed. Solara's guards moved fast, raising shields around her transport. "Stay down, Your Highness," a guard shouted, pushing her behind a barrier. The first blast hit. The transport lurched violently. Sparks rained from the ceiling. The pilot shouted something she couldn't hear over the sirens. Her heart pounded. Another strike tore through the side of the craft and the floor tilted. She grabbed the seat strap as the world spun. A moment later, the ship smashed into the plains. The crash threw her into darkness. When she opened her eyes, the hull was cracked open to the burning daylight. The other guards were gone, some scattered, some silent. Her ears rang. She pulled herself out, coughing. Smoke rose in tall columns. The raiders circled overhead, searching for survivors. Solara crawled toward a half-broken beacon and tried to activate it, but the crystal circuits sparked weakly. It was useless. Her armor flickered. Its shield core was dying. She looked around for a weapon but found only shattered crystal shards. Footsteps crunched behind her. She froze. A tall raider in black armor stepped out of the smoke, grinning through his helmet slit. "A royal," he sneered. "Worth a fortune," she backed away. Her hand trembled as she raised a broken shard. The raider laughed and pointed his blaster at her. Then the wind changed. A strange humming filled the air. Not a machine's hum, but something heavier, steadier. The raider turned. A figure walked through the dust. He was tall, broad-shouldered, wearing dark metallic armor unlike anything she had seen. No crystal shimmered on it. It looked ancient and battle-scarred. A simple visor covered his face, and in his right hand he carried a long piece of forged metal. A sword. The raider laughed louder. "What are you supposed to be, relic man?" The man said nothing. He simply drew the sword with a sound like thunder. Light caught the blade's edge. Real light, not energy, but polished steel reflecting the suns. The raider fired. The bolt never reached him. The man's arm moved faster than Solara's eyes could follow. The blade sliced the glowing shot in half, scattering sparks. Another bolt came and blocked. Then another, deflected. The raider stumbled back, panicking. In 3 steps, the stranger closed the distance. His sword moved again, clean and controlled. The raider's weapon shattered and his armor split open. The fight ended in seconds. Silence fell. Only the wind spoke. Solara stared, stunned. The man turned slightly, scanning the horizon for more threats. His movements were precise, not mechanical but deeply trained. After a long moment, he sheathed the sword across his back and approached her. "You're safe now," he said quietly. His voice was calm, deep, human. She blinked. Who are you?" "Ryan Cole," he replied. "Captain." "Earthguard." The word hit her like a shock. Earth? That world existed only in stories told to children. A violent place of storms and steel. "Earth is gone," she said weakly. He looked at the wreckage. "Not gone. Just forgotten." Before she could ask more, his helmet sensors lit up. "They'll return soon," he said. "We need shelter." He offered his hand. She hesitated, then took it. His glove was cold, solid. He led her through the smoking plains toward the ruined city. Tall stone towers half buried under dust and vines. They moved quickly through cracked streets where wind howled through hollow windows. Every few steps he stopped to scan the air. At last they reached a sunken hangar beneath a collapsed dome. Inside, hidden under centuries of sand, rested an old ship. Dark metal hull, thick armor, engines that looked more like cannons. Human letters marked the side, HSS Valiant. Solara stepped closer, her eyes wide. "This is impossible," she whispered. Rian brushed dust from the emblem. "It's real enough." He placed his palm on a panel and dim lights flickered to life. The ship groaned, systems humming as if awakening from a long sleep. "How long has it been here?" she asked. "About 700 years, he answered. "We went dark when the council turned on us. Too many wars, too much blood. So we left, watched from the edges, waited for the right moment." She frowned. "Waited for what?" "For the promise," he said simply. He didn't explain further. Instead, he guided her inside. The air smelled faintly metallic but breathable. Lights blinked weakly along the corridor. Screens showed faded images of stars. She touched one and saw a map of galaxies, a version she didn't recognize, older and smaller. "This technology," she murmured. "It's ancient, yet powerful." Ryan gave a small nod. "Human engineering. We built things to last." They reached the command deck. Broken chairs and shattered screens surrounded a central console. Ryan moved to it and connected a small device from his armor. The ship's AI activated with a soft chime. "System wake-up complete," a gentle voice said. Captain Ryan Cole detected. "Welcome back, sir," Solara gasped. "It speaks?" The voice continued. "Unknown companion detected. Scanning. Match found. Illyrian royal line. Welcome, Princess Solara of Illyria." She stared in wonder. "It knows me?" Ryan smiled faintly. "The last time this ship flew, your ancestors fought beside us." She tried to process it all. Humans and the warriors of legend, and had once fought with her people. "But why help us again?" she asked. He looked out at the plains through the cracked viewport. Fires still burned in the distance. "Because the Void clans are spreading," he said. "And because your people once saved mine. Debts should be repaid." Something stirred deep inside her, a sense of awe and fear mixed together. This man, this human, carried himself like someone from another age, a relic of courage and loss. She felt small beside him, yet strangely safe. As night fell outside, the ship's lights grew brighter. Ryan checked the fuel cores and repaired a few systems. Solara sat quietly near the control table, watching him. "You fight without energy weapons," she said finally. "Why a sword?" He paused before answering. "Because a sword doesn't run out of charge," he said softly. "And because sometimes a blade reminds us who we are." Later, she stepped outside the hangar for air. The stars above looked closer here, sharper than she had ever seen. The twin moons rose over the ruins, bathing the plains in silver. She thought of the stories her tutors told, of human warriors who fought entire fleets with courage alone. She had dismissed them as fantasy. Now one stood a few steps away, sharpening his sword under the moonlight. "Captain Rian," she called. He looked up. "Are there more of you?" He sheathed the weapon. "There were once," he said. "Now, maybe only a few still guard the edge of the galaxy. We're not many, but enough when it matters." She felt a chill run through her. "And why did you save me?" "Because," he said, meeting her gaze, "you were in danger. And because my ancestors promised that when Illyria called for help again, humanity would answer." For a long moment they stood in silence, wind brushing past the ruins. Deep inside, Solara realized the legends were not lies after all. Humans had simply disappeared into shadow, watching, waiting. And now, one of them had returned. A warrior with a sword who moved faster than light and spoke with the calm of thunder. As she looked at him, she understood something strange. This meeting would change both their worlds. Far above them, in the dark sky, hidden satellites awoke and sent signals racing through the stars. Old codes, human codes that hadn't been used in centuries. The message was simple and chilling. Contact re-established. Illyria in danger. Protocol Valiant reactivated. And so began the night when myth became reality, and a princess who never believed in old stories found herself standing beside one. The next morning came with a pale orange sky over the ruins. The wreck of the princess's ship lay silent in the distance. Princess Solara awoke to the deep hum of old engines and the faint scent of heated metal. The human, Captain Rian Cole, was already awake, checking controls on the HSS Valiant. The ship's power cores glowed faintly after centuries of sleep. Solara looked around in awe. Human ships were different from Illyrian designs. No smooth crystals or floating orbs, just strong iron walls, heavy doors, and clear purpose. Every switch, every screen was built for function, not beauty. Yet she could sense strength in it, as if the ship itself remembered battles. Rian noticed her watching. "Coffee?" he asked, offering her a small metal cup. She took it carefully, smelling the strange bitter drink. "What is it?" "A human habit," he said with a small smile. "Keeps the mind sharp." She sipped and coughed softly at the strong taste. He chuckled quietly. It was the first time she had seen him smile. Then the ship's alarm blinked. "Multiple signals inbound," said the ship's AI. "Void Clan ships detected, 3 minutes to contact." Solara's eyes widened. "They found us." Ryan moved to the command seat. "Not surprising. They always come back to finish the job." He pressed a few buttons and the Valiant systems came alive. The hum became a roar. But they won't find easy prey this time. Solara felt the deck vibrate under her feet. She looked at the screens showing the sky. Black ships descending through the clouds. "You can't fight them alone," she said. "Watch me," Ryan replied calmly. He strapped himself into the pilot chair. "Hold on." The Valiant lifted with a deep rumble, sand and dust spinning around it. The ancient vessel rose out of the ruins like a beast returning to life. Flames trailed from its thrusters. Solara grabbed a rail as they broke through the smoke and faced the raider fleet. The void ships opened fire first, plasma bolts streaking toward them. The Valiant rolled sharply, dodging with a speed no old ship should have had. Rian's hands moved across the controls with practiced ease. "They think old means weak," he said. "They're wrong." He pressed a switch and the cannons roared. Thick bursts of kinetic shells flew through space, tearing through enemy shields. The raiders scattered. One tried to dive behind them, but Ryan turned the ship faster than expected, catching it in a crossfire. The explosion lit up the sky like a small sun. Solara stared at the screen in disbelief. "Your weapons, they don't use energy." Ryan nodded. "Solid metal. Simple physics. Hard to block, harder to predict. Works every time." The Valiant shook again as more plasma bolts hit its shields. Warning lights flickered. "Shields down to 70%, said the AI. Rian frowned. "They've upgraded since last time. Smart scavengers." He turned to Solara. "Can you operate energy stabilizers?" She blinked. "I've studied power crystals, yes." "Good. Reroute auxiliary to shield nodes 3 and 5. If we lose them, we're done." Solara hurried to the side panel, her fingers dancing across the glowing keys. She had never touched alien systems before, but her instincts worked. "Power rerouted," she said quickly. The next blast hit, but the shields held firm. Ryan smiled. "Nice work, Princess." Another group of raiders approached from above. Ryan flipped a hidden lever. "Activating main railgun." A deep vibration shook the entire ship. Outside, a long cannon unfolded from the hull. The charge built with a rising hum. "Fire!" A single shot blazed out, pure kinetic force traveling faster than sound. It ripped through 2 enemy ships, sending fragments flying. The rest broke formation immediately. Solara could barely breathe. "How old is this ship?" "Older than your empire," Ryan said quietly. "But humans built things to survive, not to impress." The last of the raiders turned to flee. Ryan didn't chase them. He powered down the weapons and let the ship drift above the clouds. "They'll bring more next time," he said. Solara looked at him. "Then we warn my people." He shook his head. "Your council won't listen. To them, humans are ghosts. They'll see me as a danger, not an ally." "They'll listen to me," she said firmly. "They have to." He studied her for a moment, then nodded. "All right. Let's try." Hours later, the Valiant approached the shining towers of Illyria. As they entered the upper airspace, defense drones surrounded them instantly. Solara sent her royal code, and the drones pulled back slightly. But the city was already in alarm mode. When they landed on the crystal platform, a line of guards and council elders awaited. Their faces were cold, suspicious. Solara stepped forward, but before she could speak, one elder raised his hand. "What is that machine you bring, Princess?" "It carries forbidden metal." Ryan stepped down from the ramp. The sight of his armor made the guards tighten their grips. He didn't draw his sword. He simply stood there, silent. "This is Captain Rian Cole," Solara said clearly. "He saved my life." "He is human," the elders murmured among themselves. One laughed bitterly. Human? Impossible. Myths to frighten children. Then you should stop being afraid, Ryan said calmly. His voice silenced them. Even the guards lowered their weapons slightly. There was something in his tone. Steady, old, commanding. Solara told them what had happened. The crash, the attack, the battle in the sky. Some elders listened, others frowned. When she finished, the council leader shook his head. Even if true, we cannot trust this man. Humans were destroyers. Their wars ended whole civilizations. Ryan's expression didn't change. And yet your world exists because of us, he said. When the first Void clan rose, humans fought beside your ancestors. We buried our dead on your soil. We made a promise that if you ever faced that darkness again, we would return. The council chamber fell silent. The leader looked uneasy. If that is true, then why now? Because the Void clans have new masters, Ryan answered. And they're building something worse than warships. Solara stepped forward. We must act before it's too late. If we stand together, we can stop them. But the council refused. We cannot risk our peace for old ghosts, said the leader. The humans vanished once. Let them stay gone. Ryan bowed slightly. Then your peace will end without a fight. He turned and left the chamber. Solara followed him quickly. Outside, the sky darkened. Distant thunder rolled, though there were no clouds. A strange red shimmer filled the horizon. The Void clan fleet was already approaching. The first explosion struck before the alarms could sound. City shields flared as ships dropped from orbit. Panic spread through the towers. Ryan looked up, eyes narrowing. They brought their flagship. Solara grabbed his arm. The council, they made their choice, he said. Now it's our turn. He sprinted back toward the Valiant, Solara running beside him. The air trembled as enemy fire rained down. Guards tried to hold the lines, but their weapons were useless. Inside the Valiant, Ryan jumped into the pilot seat. AI, target the main carrier. Locked, said the voice. Solara took her station. Power cores ready? Then let's remind them what legends can do. The Valiant soared into the sky, rising through smoke and chaos. The carrier loomed above, massive and dark, its hull pulsing with red energy. Ryan maneuvered close, dodging beams. Firing railgun. The first shot struck the carrier's side, tearing through its shields. The second hit its reactor bay. A burst of light flooded the sky. The shock wave rippled across the upper atmosphere. The flagship broke apart, flames spilling into space. The smaller raider ships scattered in panic. Illyrian defenders cheered as the Valiant passed overhead, wings glowing orange from the heat of battle. Solara looked at Ryan. You saved us. He shook his head. No, you saved yourselves by believing. As the fires faded, the council called for her again. They bowed before her and the human captain. Perhaps the old stories were true after all, said the leader softly. Ryan removed his helmet for the first time. His face was marked by age and scars, but his eyes were calm. Stories are only warnings, he said. What matters is what you do after you remember them. He turned to Solara and handed her his sword. Keep this. It's not just a weapon. It's a promise that humanity stands with you as long as courage lives. Before she could reply, the Valiant's engines rumbled. You're leaving? She asked. There are other worlds calling for help, he said. We never stopped listening. He walked up the ramp and the ship lifted, fire glowing beneath its wings. The sky split open as it climbed higher, vanishing into the stars. Solara held the sword tightly. It felt heavy, real, alive. She looked at the sky and whispered, Goodbye, Captain. High above, among the stars, old satellites blinked awake again, carrying a single signal across the galaxy. The humans have returned.